Hello students and welcome to SmartKidz tutorials. In this video we will be going through some important questions that could come for your upcoming examinations on chemical reactions and equations. Let's begin. The first question: in which of the following chemical equations the abbreviations represent the correct states of the reactants and products involved at reaction temperature? What it's asking you is to check whether these abbreviations L and G are associated with this particular elements. We should know that hydrogen and oxygen, okay, are present individually as in gaseous form. Okay, so and when they combine together they form a liquid, that's water, H2O. So we can rule the first one out because it says hydrogen and oxygen both are in liquid form. Second one also we'll have to rule out because it says oxygen is in liquid form. The third one seems to be correct because it says hydrogen and oxygen are in gaseous form and water is in liquid form, because the fourth one says the water is in gaseous form. So third one is the correct. Let's look at the answer. Here you go. So these are some of the abbreviations: G for gaseous phase, L for liquid phase, S for solid phase, EQ for aqueous state. So this you will get as part of the full equation. Next question: a dilute ferrous sulfate solution was gradually added to the beaker containing acidified permanganate solution. The light purple color of the solution fades and finally disappears. Which of the following is the correct explanation for the observation? The choices given up: KMnO4 is an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes FeSO4. FeSO4 acts as an oxidizing agent and oxidizes KMnO4. The color disappears due to dilution. No reaction is involved. And the last one, KMnO4 is an unstable compound and decomposes in the presence of FeSO4 to a colorless compound. Let's look what is the answer. Is the first one, KMnO4 is an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes FeSO4, which is ferrous sulfate. Yep, the oxidizing agent in this process is potassium permanganate, KMnO4. It oxidizes ferrous sulfate to form ferric sulfate in the presence of dilute sulfuric acid. So this is actually the reaction. Okay, so remember KMnO4 or potassium permanganate is an oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent means it promotes oxidation. Next question: which of the following gases can be used for storage? Choices given are carbon dioxide or oxygen, nitrogen or oxygen, carbon dioxide or helium, and the last choice is helium or nitrogen. The correct answer is helium and nitrogen. So nitrogen is used in your chips that you get. That's why you have the puff bag, but when you open it you hardly have any chips because it's filled with the nitrogen gas. Helium is also you see you have helium balloons and even the large balloon transportation balloons that used to be there before use helium. Helium as well as nitrogen prevent the oil from becoming rancid, and they can be used to store a fresh sample for oil for a long time. So this is in with respect to the oxidation of foods that promotes rancidity. Okay, so mostly it is actually a nitrogen that is used. They can be used to store a fresh sample of oil for a long time. The use of nitrogen and or helium as a blanketing gas prevents air and oil contact. Next question. This is lead plus copper chloride, giving you lead chloride plus copper. The above reaction is an example of combination, double displacement, decomposition, displacement. It is displacement. See, clearly you can have a look. You have a metal here in lead which is displacing another metal which is copper. For this you should also know the reactivity series to know which element or which metal can displace another metal from its salt solution. This is salt solution copper chloride. So lead is displacing copper. Here you have copper displaced. Okay. Next question. Name the products formed when iron filings are heated with dilute hydrochloric acid. answer is Fe3 chloride and hydrogen gas. These are formed when iron filings are heated with dilute hydrochloric acid. This is the reaction. Iron, this is iron being treated with hydrochloric acid, and that gives you ferric chloride, okay, or iron 3 chloride with the evolution of hydrogen gas. Next question. When sulfur dioxide gas is passed through saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide, which of the following reaction occurs? These are the choices that are there available. So basically you have to just put it down in the reaction equations to find out which equation actually happens. So sulfur dioxide gas reacting with hydrogen sulfide, and you'll have to balance it to find out which one is the correct one. We'll now see which one is the correct one. Is the A, which is sulfur dioxide gas reacting with hydrogen sulfide to give you water and sulfides. You see it is balanced over here. Okay, so this needs to be balanced and then you'll get the correct answer. Next question. Electrolysis of water is a decomposition reaction. The mole ratio of hydrogen and oxygen gases liberated during electrolysis of water is less. Okay, apart from being confused what is the mole ratio, what is trying to actually ask you is electrolysis of water involve decomposition. This is splitting of the water molecule. When water molecule is split, it gets separated out into its individual components, that is hydrogen and oxygen. What makes up water? Two atoms of hydrogen, when they come together with one atom of oxygen, they form a molecule of water. So that is what. So if you are asked for a ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in case of water, then it is 2:1. 2 of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. That's the answer. Okay. So remember, H2O is the chemical symbol for water, and each water molecule will have 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. When they are broken up, they separate out into 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen atom. This is when electricity is passed through the solution. Next question. The condition of produced by aerial oxidation of fats and oils in foods marked by unpleasant smell. So this is referring to rancidity. Here you go. We know what is rancidity. Term used to describe the development of an unpleasant odor and taste in fat and oil containing foods as a result of aerial oxidation from the atmosphere. Okay, so that leads to bad and unpleasant odor, spoils the food as well. Next question. A substance added to food containing fats and oils is called, usually to prevent rancidity, an antioxidant is added. So D should be the correct choice. Here you go. An antioxidant is a chemical that prevents oxidation. Oils are particularly prone to oxidation and are said to become rancid when they do. Rancidity. Most of us find the odor of rancid oil bad or worse, and therefore it is considered undesirable. We don't like to eat when it smells bad. Consequently, it is quite common to add antioxidant to oily foods. Similarly, fats can also undergo oxidation, which can make them unpalatable. Unpalatable is something that you do not desire to eat anymore. Thus, antioxidants are added in them. Next question. Select the oxidizing agent for the following reaction. Okay, and that's ideal. Now, if you look at oxidizing agent, you will say, well, where is oxidation taking place? Oxidation always doesn't mean that addition of oxygen. Sometimes it also leads to removal of hydrogen atom. Okay, so in this case, your iodine I2 is promoting that removal of hydrogen is removed from H2S. Removal of hydrogen is oxidation. In addition, H2S is altering in sulfur. This is sulfur basically. H2S is being depleted of hydrogen by I2. As a result, iodine is an oxidizing agent. Next question. What type of chemical reactions takes place when electricity is passed through water? So we just came through electrolysis of water, where it was discussing about the mole ratio of hydrogen and oxygen. Here it's talking about when electrolysis is taking place, what type of chemical reaction it is. So let's have a look. It's decomposition. Why is decomposition? Because water molecule is being decomposed into its original constituents, that is original elements, hydrogen and oxygen. That is why it is decomposition. Next question. In the double displacement reaction between aqueous potassium iodide and aqueous lead nitrate, a yellow precipitate of lead iodide is formed. While performing the activity, if lead nitrate is not available, which of the following can be used in place of lead nitrate? So I'll give you the answer and show you what exactly in terms of reaction it is talking about. The answer is lead acetate. So lead acetate can replace lead nitrate if lead nitrate is not available. Let's have a look. Okay. Now to understand what it's saying, we need to know the reaction. So or reduce it from whatever is given over here. We are clearly given over here that this is a double displacement reaction which is involving potassium iodide in aqueous form. Here you go, Ki, and it involves lead nitrate also in aqueous form, this way. So once you get Ki and PbNO32, you can easily interchange where K will become KNO3 and Pb will PbI2. Okay. And once you get this reaction, this is now what it's talking about is what if this lead nitrate is changed with lead acetate, and lead acetate looks like this. Okay, so it's given other choices as well, but the other choices clearly do not fit because it's talking about ammonium and potassium. So you already have over here potassium iodide. You can't be reacting with potassium sulfide and expecting a double displacement reaction. Okay, so ammonium sulfate clearly not. So clearly it is going to be between is going to be lead if it is not lead, and lead sulfate actually it doesn't form. We'll speak about it over here. So if lead sulfate is used, okay, we know our answer is lead acetate. But what if it, why not lead sulfate? So if lead sulfate is used in place of lead nitrate, no precipitate of lead iodide will be formed because lead sulfate is insoluble in water, does not give lead plus 2 ions, which can combine with iodine to form lead iodine. Okay. On the other hand, lead dissociates to in aqueous state to give lead plus. Dissociates means easily separates out, okay, into positive ions, negative ions. So you have positive lead ions, you have negative acetate ions over here, as you can see. Okay, a positive and negative come together to form one particular molecule. Okay? They have to completely dissociate themselves in the aqueous state. Dissociate means separate themselves out into separate lead ions and acetate ions, or lead ions or nitrate ions, like that. So sulfate ions are not known to dissociate properly, and if that is happening, then it does not form a precipitate. Precipitate is a solid, you have a liquid form and you have solid. The solid just settles down at the bottom, and that is called as a precipitate, okay, which does not get dissolved. Here you get, so this is the reaction in case if you use lead acetate instead of lead nitrate, and that will give you, say, this can give you probably acetic acid, okay, as well. So this is the reaction. Next question, which of the following is an endothermic process? Endothermic means it absorbs heat. So sublimation of dry ice, dry ice, sublimation means it directly turns into gas. Sublimation ice is an immediate phase transition from solid to gas without having to pass through an intermediate liquid state. This we have done in the class 9. Because the process requires additional energy, it is an endothermic reaction and the heat absorbed is referred to as heat of sublimation. Again, this is also done in class 9. Next question. When silver is exposed to air, it gets a black coating of silver sulfide. So when silver is exposed to air, it reacts with hydrogen sulfide gas that is present in the air to form a black coating of silver sulfide. This reaction is also there in the textbook. Next question. A substance X is used in whitewashing and is obtained by heating limestone in absence of air. So we have a substance X which is actually used in whitewashing processes. And how is it obtained? It is obtained by heating limestone in the absence of air. So limestone has to be heated without air. It's an anaerobic process. Okay, so which is that one? Calcium oxide. So here you go. When calcium carbonate, that is limestone, is heated in the absence of air, it gives us calcium oxide. Okay, which is whitewash. Okay, and with the release of carbon dioxide. So here you were asked for the substance X, and that is calcium oxide. Next question: which among the following statements is or are true? Exposure of silver chloride to sunlight for a long duration turns gray due to formation of silver by decomposition of silver chloride, sublimation of silver chloride, decomposition of chlorine gas from silver chloride, or oxidation of silver chloride. And we are given the choices over here. The answer is first one only. Formation of silver by decomposition of silver chloride. Exposure of silver chloride to sunlight. Look at the reaction. Here's the reaction. So silver chloride, when exposed to air, breaks down into silver, giving us chlorine. It's a decomposition reaction. 3 beakers labeled as A, B and C, each containing 25 ml of water, were taken. A small amount of NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, anhydrous copper sulfate and sodium chloride were added to the beakers A, B and C respectively. It was observed that there was an increase in the temperature of the solution contained in beakers A and B, whereas in case of beaker C, the temperature of the solution falls. Which of the following is correct? Because A and B exothermic processes occurred, because A and B endothermic has occurred, in beaker C exothermic process has occurred, in beaker C endothermic. So clearly over here it says there was an increase in temperature of the solution contained in beakers A and B, which means it was an exothermic process in both. So this one is correct for sure. In third one it says temperature falls. Okay, temperature falls in which the temperature of the solution falls, which goes on to tell us that probably that it is an endothermic process wherein the heat is required. Here you go. So first one and fourth one. So when heat is released, exothermic process we say it is when heat is released, and when heat is absorbed we say it is a endothermic process. So surrounding gets cold, meaning temperature falls. So in the first reaction, this is the reaction taking place, sodium hydroxide reacting with water. So heat is given out in this reaction, and in the second case, copper sulfate reacting with water molecule, also heat is given out in the process. So beaker A, beaker B giving us exothermic processes or reactions. In case of beaker C, you have sodium chloride where heat is absorbed. Okay, so that results in decrease in temperature. Okay, as heat is being absorbed. Which of the following is not physical change? You have to understand what is physical change. So boiling, melting, dissolution of salt in water, that means change of state. Okay, when salt from solid becomes liquid, that is all physical states. Combustion of liquefied petroleum gas is not a physical state. There you go. The melting, vaporization, liquefaction are all pure physical changes where chemical composition of the material does not change. Here the chemical composition of material does change. Next question. Which of the following is true for an unbalanced chemical equation? Number of atoms is equal on both sides of the equation. Number of atoms is less on the left side of the equation. Number of atoms is more on the right side on the equation, both B and C. So it has to be B and C, because unbalanced means either it is more on left hand side or more on right hand side, or really not equal. It should be equal on both sides. So first one option that it says equal, that is for a balanced equation. But both these, so it should be B and C. There you go. Next question. Which of the following are exothermic processes? Reaction of water with quicklime, dilution of acid, evaporation of water, sublimation of camphor crystals. Answer is first two. Reaction of water with quicklime and dilution of an acid, both are exothermic processes where heat is given out. Next question. Which of the following statements about the given reaction are correct? You have a reaction here, iron reacting with water to give you Fe3O4 plus evolution of hydrogen gas. And which of the following statements give the iron metal is getting oxidized? Okay. Water is getting reduced. Water is acting as a reducing agent and water is acting as an oxidizing agent. Let's have a look at the answer. That's 1, 2 and 4. So iron metal is getting oxidized, correct, because it is receiving oxygen. Water is getting reduced, correct, because it losing oxygen molecule, oxygen atom. And fourth one, water is acting as an oxidizing agent, yeah, because it is promoting oxidation of iron atom. So the correct choice is C, 1, 2 and 4. Next question. Manganese dioxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give us MnCl2, that is manganese chloride and water. Identify the substance that is oxidized in the above range. So clearly you can see that manganese dioxide is losing oxygen and it is getting transferred to this hydrochloric acid, which is getting converted to water. So hydrochloric acid is actually getting oxidized. That's the answer. So in this reaction, HCl is oxidized to chlorine, whereas MnO2, that is this one, is getting reduced to manganese chloride. Next question. Sodium and chlorine are reacted and as a result sodium chloride is formed, which is also called table salt. What option gives the reactants and products of the reaction? So clearly you can see sodium and chlorine are, it says, are reacted. So sodium and chlorine have got to be reactants. So if you see the reactants here, you have none of them except for the last one, which says reactants are sodium and chlorine, and it says sodium chloride is formed. So that should be on the product side. So sodium chloride, so D should be our correct answer. Here you go. And this is a reaction. Sodium and chlorine reacting to give you sodium chloride, which is also known as table salt. Next question. Magnesium ribbon is rubbed before burning because it has a coating of basic magnesium oxide. So when magnesium is a reactive metal, it combines with oxygen in air to form a layer of magnesium oxide on its surface. Hence it should be cleaned with a sandpaper before burning to remove the oxide layer formed on its surface. Next. Coming to the last question. Which of the following is a displacement reaction? So the first one is clearly not a displacement reaction. It is a decomposition reaction wherein magnesium carbonate is getting decomposed to form magnesium oxide and carbon dioxide. The third one is a combination reaction. Hydrogen is combining with oxygen to form water. And the fourth one is also a decomposition reaction. Lead nitrate is getting decomposed to form lead oxide, NO2 and oxygen. The only one that is the correct answer is B, 2Na plus H2O, NaOH plus H2. This is a displacement reaction wherein sodium is displacing hydrogen. Okay, so with this we complete this short questionnaire or important questions that are likely to come for the upcoming examination on chemical reactions and equations. I hope you liked watching the video and you understood what was explained over here. If you have any queries, please do not hesitate to send a message or just message below this video. If you like watching this video, hit the like button, share this with as many friends and classmates as possible. Let them also benefit as you have. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Keep watching for more such videos. Thank you.